Good, beautiful, beautiful day, you beautiful, beautiful souls. I am so grateful to have you here with me today. My name is Charla Anderson. I'm host of the Charla Anderson Show, collector and connector of fascinating people, and everyone is fascinating, especially you. We're on this extraordinary platform, this winwinwomen.com, winwinwomen.tv, this amazing group of people that are just putting some amazing things out there for all of us around the world. It's global, and my show will soon be on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and I have partnered with Podetize, so we're going to be all over podcast world too. I'm just excited about where this show is headed and what we're going to do together. Today is Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. Happy birthday, grandson. And I just want to thank you for joining me. And I'm so honored, as always, that you would join me and spend your time taking a moment to have this conversation. Today, our conversation is about being where you are, right? So at the end of this time together, about 30 minutes, I'll be chatting, and then we can continue a conversation. If you would like to come on live and have conversation, we will actually be recording it, may or may not be in the replays, depending, of course. And, if you want to say anything during this show, feel free to join the Zoom chat, and I read them. I receive them, and I will read every comment. And you can message me in Facebook or put a comment below the post in Facebook as well. I'm always open to hearing what you have to say, for sure. So at the end, we'll circle back around all that. But as if you've heard me at all, I always, because we want to be present, we want to be where we are. And I have a little centering exercise I do every week, and it's a 7, 4, 11 count. Okay, it's 22 seconds total. Let's breathe in 7 seconds of calm, hold that for 4 seconds, and then breathe out 11 seconds of gratitude. Are you ready to join me in getting present in this moment? Okay, let's do it. Hold. Breathe out, release, gratitude. Thank you, thank you. It's centering, it's grounding, and it's a mini meditation you can do all day long, anytime you need a moment to get centered and present, to be where you be. At any given time. It's a great little exercise. More to it in one of my sessions, but that is the basics, and I hope that it blesses you as much as it blesses me. Today we're talking about where we are is all we have. You might as well love it. What does that really mean? I mean, how does that work? We've always heard, be present, be in the now, do what you're, quit living in the past, all those things. But do we do it? Do we know how to do it? Do we know if it even works? What's the point? So when so I have a thing when people ask me, hey, how are you? And I'll be going, hi, I'm fabulous. And it's a choice, right? And then I laugh a little, and then they go, yeah, I guess. And then I say, sometimes I continue with, well, where we are is all we have, right? We only have this second. We might as well love it. And sometimes I even continue from the beginning of time. Since the beginning of time, let there be life. Everything has conspired to have you and me having this conversation in this moment in time right now. There's an infinite amount of things that could have changed our path of life or direction to get us somewhere else than where we are right now, right? Any infinite number, from your grandparents not meeting to you just didn't click the button today, whatever, anything, any little tiny thing. So we've got this universe of billions and billions and billions and trillions of things that could have gone differently, but where we are is all we got. So why do we continually stress over things? You know, we're just a speck of dust in this whole traverse of the infinite time, from billions of people and billions of years of a Earth, you know, being created, and here we're in this little speck of time on this small spinning ball. If you look at the big universe, right? We only have right now, we're just a tiny speck of dust. So why do you think that yelling at someone that just cut you off is that important? Why do we get so upset about things most we don't have control over, the vast majority at all? But, you know, upset draws upset. And so you get mad at that driver, and it's this one tiny speck of time in the entire history of humanity. And then you hit the curb because you're mad, and then you got curb check, and then you got your tire lined, and, you know, I mean, it is perpetual, and it gets upset, draws upset. And it really takes a lot to come to an understanding, a screech that let's shift that energy from upset. How do we do that? And why do we allow such trivial things to really get our goat, mess with us? And we only have this minute, this second in time. We can judge all we want to, whatever happened, and just let it eat us up inside. And, you know, even things that that happened to us decades and decades and decades ago. So did your parents? My parents got divorced when I was 6 years old. So many people have that. And decades later, they're going, well, I'm never getting married because I don't ever want to get a divorce. I don't want to go through that. Okay. And so what are you focused on? What are you focused on when you're focused on not getting divorced? That word divorce stays in your psyche the whole time, just because something happened decades ago and hurt you, and now you're carrying it around, and you're not going to get married. Are you all of a sudden they didn't say I love you the right way, and now you're mad and you're upset, and you think that, okay, now here it comes, we're going to get. Do you see how we play with this silly game? It's ridiculous. I mean, really, when we stop to think about it. But it's, you know, we've got these little voices in our head that are never shutting up, and they're telling us, well, you know, you better not like him, because if you get married, you're going to get, you know, then you might get divorced, and that's going to be like your parents. And whew. And if you don't know the little voice I'm talking about in your head, it's the one that just said, I don't have a little voice, because every single solitary second, this little voice is not shutting up. He's talking and arguing with itself, telling you both sides, but it's never going to give you something in your future. It's only going to give you what's already gone on in your past. So why do we want to do that? Why do we continue doing that? Why do we let little upsets continue? And then, oh my goodness, you can't believe the stories we tell, right? So we make up the story about it, and it happened 6 hours ago when you got cut off, but here we are telling our wife when we get home, or our husband, or our friend, and going over drinks, we're going, I can't believe this guy cut me off, and then it made me hit my tire. And we're telling these stories. It's ridiculous. But we've made up a story and stuffed it down in us, and we're going to continue replaying it. And these are a couple of fairly trivial examples, but think about all the things we do all day long, 24/7. That little voice never shuts up. And most of it is just flat out repetitive and lies. It just wants to keep you safe from doing anything it's not used to. I have a run across Michael Singer this year, and it's beyond my comprehension that in my years and years and years of personal development junkiness. I love all of that. And I'd heard of his name, I'd heard his book, but I'd never really read it and got involved with that. Oh my goodness. Michael Singer wrote The Untethered Soul, and he wrote The Surrender Experiment. And he was just an old hippie trying to live his life and figure out how to quiet that voice in his head. Pretty much, I think that was it. Just trying to figure out who's talking and why are they talking and why are they saying such negative things. And so he bought land and went out and got into a, trying to be reclusive and live alone and not have all the distractions so he could meditate. I mean, he spent a couple of years at least pretty much solo, just trying to figure out how to get that voice to be quiet. Can you imagine? He came up, and I love the book of the books he's written. I would recommend the Surrender Experiment first, because it's kind of his life story and how he kind of just made a game out of surrendering. And so when things came up in his world, such as somebody came to him and said, hey, would you go and talk to the prisoners next Saturday? Ding! His mind goes, oh no, I don't want to do that. That's out of the way. It's too much time. What do I have to say to prisoners anyway? And blah, blah, blah. His mind would not shut up about it. What his experiment ended up being is, if his mind did that, then he would be, whatever his mind told him not to do, then he's like, well, if life presents it, I'm going to receive it. So he decided to just go to the prison ministry. And this is one of his very many examples, but he ended up having a 30-something years of dealing with these prisoners and helping them understand they might be in a prison, but their mind doesn't have to be. They have freedom to think differently and quit being victims. And so, we know our life's full of, it seems like there's more and more people not wanting to take responsibility for their actions or their thoughts or their things or what they are doing. And so now they're victims, and victims are not, there's no power there. There is no power. So I really enjoyed reading his book and learning that he has done that with so many different things. And that Surrender Experiment, and then The Untethered Soul, which I'm almost finished reading. I love learning, and I love new ideas. That what if we gave it all up? What if we gave up having to know, having to be right? What if we gave up having, and I did this a while back. I just don't have to know. I get to just be. I don't have to know. So this is probably why this is so important to me, because literally I just came to the recognition that I don't have to strive. I just get to be. Now, did I know exactly how to do that? No. Am I still learning? Absolutely. But that's why finding Michael Singer and his work has been a huge blessing to me personally. But I don't have to know. I don't have to have the details and the reasons. I get to just be. And I will just say the way he, talks about how to do that, how to do what I'm talking about. Because stuff comes up. We stuff down a lot of stuff. We continue to stuff it down. So when something comes up that car looks like my ex-husband's, and all of a sudden we've been just driving along, everything's good, and trigger. What if? And he trains you kind of just over and over how to do this. You see this something that causes an anxious moment, and you relax and release it, let it all float on through, and just be. Relax, release, and do what's next. So it doesn't mean you're sitting on a couch not taking action, doing anything. It means you relax. You see something comes up, you relax. Recognize there's something there. Release it, let it go, let it float through like a cloud, and then release it, and then do what's next. Do what's the next right thing. You might have an accident. Heaven forbid, right? You have an accident and you're upset, and you relax and you release it. And you deal with what's so, because what's so is all you have. We don't have, like we said before, last minute. We only have this minute to make a new choice, take a different step, go forward. That is all we've got. It's a fact. We don't have last second. We only have this second to make a different choice if we don't like what's going on right now. If we don't like what's going on, take a deep breath, deal with it, deal with what needs to be dealt with without building this story around it. I saw a new song. My darling granddaughter loves dancing, and so I love Jason Mraz, and we've been listening to some of his songs, and she's dancing, and a song came on called "Be Where Your Feet Are." I think that's hysterical. I love it. It really puts it on the ground. Be where your feet are. Just be where you are. And love it, because it's the only place you have. Literally, where you are is all you got. Love it. I don't mean like you have to love your situation, but you don't have to make it a bigger deal than it already is, right? So anyway, I saw that, and I have this thought. And so what we are doing in most of these cases is we've got our past driving our future. That's a way of saying what I'm talking about. Our past is driving our future. I went to Landmark Education, many of their curriculum courses, and that was something I heard there, and I was like, get your past out of your future. Well, how do you do that? Let's get an example. So what happens if in 7th grade, you're going along, you're in school, 7th grade, which of course really is the worst place to be on the face of the earth, because you're in 7th grade, middle school, just trying to figure out teen life, body, and all that stuff, 7th grade stuff. So you're going through, you got a test, and you make an F on that test. You're mad at yourself. Why didn't I study? I didn't, and you make this F. And then your parents are going, why are you so stupid? And what often will happen, and I believe this is an example of what I'm talking about here. You take that F, which is literally one moment in your life that you forgot to study or didn't study or, didn't care, or whatever it was. But you take that I made an F and you make up a story around it. And the story you make up is, I made an F, I must be stupid. And you know what you do with that story? You stick it back here in the back of your brain, the back of your noggin, your head, and you plant it there, and then you forget you planted it there. But the past, because it happened in a moment in time, it is past, is driving your future, because now every single time you do something stupid, see, I told you I was stupid. I told you I was stupid. I'm stupid. I'm so stupid. Why am I so stupid? And it's because you made up a story about making an F, and you planted it in the back of your head, and it's driving your life. That happens infinite number of times. We get all these stories we make up about an event that happens. My parents got divorced. I make up that that it's terrible and I'm never going to get divorced. So I plant that in the back of my head and see, I told you I can't have a good relationship. You continue. It drives your life in every aspect and you don't even know it. You don't remember you planted a made up story back there. And it goes for decades. Sometimes, forever. You get hurt when you're 5 years old. Somebody says something that, and I'll never let that hurt happen to me again. I'll never be hurt like that again. And what do? You plant this, I'm never going to be hurt again. So you start building walls, and you forget that you made up a story that something happened. Somebody looked at you wrong or said, told you weren't good enough, or you should be more like your brother, or whatever you get, because we all get it. And we plant it back there, make up this story, and continue to live our lives as if it's running our lives, because it is. So what if when those little triggers, and sometimes they're big triggers, something comes up and we are able to relax, release, let it go, and do what's next. Relax, release, let it go, do what's next. Do you think your life could be more settled if you just bloom where you planted, be where you are right now, and be present in this moment in time? Don't you think it would make a difference for you? It makes a difference for me when I'm able to do that. This weekend, oh my gosh, I spent several days in the Texas Hill Country looking at the incredible lush bluebonnets. It's a great year for them. We had certain rains and conditions that made the bluebonnets absolutely stunningly gorgeous this year. And I have a friend that loves to just drive. She's in a cold state. She comes down and loves to drive in our beautiful spring flowers, wildflowers. It was unbelievable. And so we get to this place that, we were going to go in a cabin on the lake and, have to bring your own sheets and all that. And so she found a place. It was like, hey, it's probably has Wi-Fi. It should, have an indoor toilet and all those kinds of things. And we just, and a view of the water. So it seemed like a good option. Do you know what unmet expectations are? The cause of all disappointment. I mean, literally, disappointments are caused by unmet expectations. So she had this vision, and I could be doing some work, and she would be able to go out and look, and be in the nature. And so it didn't work out that way. The place we ended up staying, even though it had incredible potential, it was dated, that was okay. But, the blinds fell down. I mean, it was not clean. There was a lot of things that internet certainly wasn't stellar. It was intermittent. And so I never took my computer out for 5 days, I think. And that's probably a blessing in disguise, but it was not my, I do this kind of work, so I need to work. So, so we actually chose to kind of make it an adventure. We weren't there that many hours anyway. So, we chose to make it an adventure and release upset over it. I released upset over it completely. And it was like, it is what's so, and what's so is all we got. Let's deal with it. Relax, release, let go, do what needs to be done. So this time together today, I want to remind you, and I think I didn't think of the bloom where we were planted until just before I started this show. I'm like, well, that fits in with my blue bonnets, but where you are is all you have. Why don't we face it? And when we get triggered by any little thing, relax, release, let it go, do the next thing. And remember, we're a speck of dust on a spinning ball in the middle of an infinite universe, multiple universes, I'm guessing. Why do we get so upset over the littlest, silliest things that really have so little long-term impact? And even if they do, there's certainly some very serious things. If illness, what, or, you lose someone there, those are huge emotional things. But once they are there, once they've happened, they are not in the present anymore. They're in the past. And we can continue that agony. I mean, it's not that we don't have emotions. I'm never going to say that. But if it's already happened, let's learn to live where we are right now so we can take the next step, the next positive step, deal with what we need to deal with. Well, just love the people in front of us. That's the bottom line message, infinite love. Let's love the people around us. Let's love the people in front of us. The harder they are to love, the more they need it. But that's the message here. Let's love ourselves enough to let go of this angst, to let go of the anger or the bitterness or the trauma, whatever it is. Deal with it, release it, live our lives so we can bless others. That's the best thing we can do. And we can live a more peaceful life. I'm good at that. I'm good at helping people find a peace inside their lives. And if you ever need an assistance with that, charlaanderson.com is my website. It's a, certainly evolving website, but you can find me. I would love to hear from you. If you have a story to tell or you want to share, charla@charlaanderson.com is my email. So I have a calendar link on my website. Let's talk. I also encourage you, if you want some simple solutions and trying to understand this concept, because we've never been taught this. We've been told it, just be in the now and all that. But we've never really been taught how. That I understand in most of our lives, at least the people I am around don't think so. Look at Michael Singer. Yeah, he's got some incredible books. He's got a lot of podcasts. Listen to him. There's some of them are only 5 minutes, but they're profound. And I don't have any connection to him, but I would love to share that, his wealth of information, his lifetime. He was an old hippie just trying to learn how to meditate, became incredibly, wildly beyond his wildest dreams successful because he didn't let his mind talk him out of things. He received what was presented, did what was next. So that's him. That's me. I do it as much as I can. Am I there yet? No way. I don't know that anybody ever gets there, but the masters, and honestly, another way to say it, if you are in an upset, somebody cuts you off, and that moment shows up, bless them. May you be blessed. Breathe. May you be blessed. Let it go. Live your life in a peaceful manner, and don't let all that baggage and upset drive your life. Take that past out of your future. Remove that and that I must be stupid story. Remove that my parents got divorced and I can never have a happy relationship. That's just stories you made up. You can do that. Let's give it up so we can live a life of intentional significance, joy, peace, infinite love. I am so grateful that I have had this time to just express this to you, express my heart. This is a huge running theme in my life. I'm honored that you would take the time to listen. Very humbled. So, we don't do advertising on here on winwinwomen.tv and .com. I don't do advertising at all. I wouldn't even talk about anything that I don't believe in and don't use. So if you know of anybody who wants a podcast or a website, well, all of that, podcast, website, TV show, all of those things, charlaanderson.com. I have a banner on my homepage that links to several of my favorite things. I call them Charla's faves. These are a few of my favorite things. So I'm here each week on Wednesdays on winwinwomen.tv at 1 p.m. Central Time. I'm on, we'll be on all kinds of other platforms as we move forward. charlaanderson.com, charla@charlaanderson.com if you want to send me an email or have some comments. And so as we end this half hour, if someone is out there still that would like to continue the conversation, let's have a great chat. And I'll always, always, always remember, choose joy.